Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I've got a little packet here from the world of books that I've ordered and I'm very excited to open. So I thought I'll open it on camera as I like to do with my new decks. That is big. Yeah, it's bigger than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so this is the new deck from Angi Sullins. Let's get the cellophane off, shall we? Get rid of that awful glare. Oh, this is a nice box. These boxes are good. Oh, look at this. Gling, glink. Glinting. Oh, so this is the W.I.T.C.H, the woman in total control of herself, which I've spoke about before. This deck I've really wanted and I've treated myself to it, so why not? Yeah, I've known this acronym for many years, and the other one, bitch, so that's babe in total control of herself. I know it sounds twee, but I don't know, I think it's a little bit more empowering. Anyway, I am really liking Angi Sullins decks. I think the production quality, especially of the boxes, is amazing. This is US Games. These boxes are gorgeous. The magnetic closure there is gorgeous. The way the cutout is gorgeous. All this glint all over is so good. And the artwork itself as well. Beautiful. Looks borderless. I've not watched any walkthroughs of this deck because I just wanted to have the first impressions and see how I connected with it. I think initially, my initial impressions of what I think. So this is the little blurb on the back here, talking about shifting the allegiance from pleasing to pleasure, from subservient to subversive, sorry. And yeah, I am guilty of being a people pleaser, but I think it's a coping strategy we learn as we grow up, isn't it? Anyway, so it's about claiming your inner knowing as her highest authority, willing to abandon everybody else's expectations before she'll abandon herself. Well, that's a bit difficult to do, isn't it? You know, certain workplaces, you have to abide by other people's rules and regulations. The government, you have to abide by rules and regulations. It's for our own good. Allegedly. Anyway, I'm not going to get political. Stop fearing her path, started blazing it, loyal to the visions in her head and the longing of her heart. So it's listening to your heart space, isn't it, and acting from there. Yeah, so it's a 44 card deck, 216 page guidebook. And so, yeah, this Witchery Academy is something that's online. Oh, look, some poems there by the author. You were born sovereign, and your life is the castle you occupy. It's time to take back the throne. Be in control of your own life, be in control of your own destiny, being in total control of yourself. So I suppose it's the way that you are in the world. Having autonomy, I would imagine. Nice sentiments, not so easy to do. Oh look, we've got a bag as well. Oh, see, this is the other thing, they're including these bags in the decks. So, opening the box, we've got some words here. Become a disciple of inner devotion. Resurrect the silver salvation of self-respect. Believe in yourself and your wild, holy heart like it's a sovereign religion. It is. And the world needs more missionaries. I wonder if that's like an example of the poetry in this guidebook. Talking of guidebook, let's just take it out. So this is one heck of a tome. It's a real chunky monkey, look at that. Wow. And it looks like we've got a lot of imagery in here. Oh, the exile. Oh, this is looking good. Some poetry. I think this is a glued together book. I like stitched books, but I've got a feeling this is a glued together book, which means it could fall apart within a lot of use. Little lamb at the back. Okay, let's get into the cards. I'm going to do a little walkthrough of the cards now. So we've got a pull-out ribbon here. We've got an image on the bottom of the box, which is the same as the front of the box. It is gorgeous, this box. I do hope they're substantial and not just going to come apart with time. It'd be a shame because there's a lot of production quality to that box. Okay, let's take the cellophane off and have a look at the cards. So as you can see, there's that beautiful gilt edge in there. Zoom right in so we can have a really good look at these cards. So they're quite shiny, as you can tell. So that was a deck walkthrough. I've had some thoughts. The art style in this deck reminds me very much of classical art, and I just went and dug this book out from my bookcase. This is the Witchcraft book from Taschen, because of this image here. So that was the first one that actually caught my attention, and I thought, oh, I know that image. Yeah, this one here is Circe. Let's find it. Yeah, Circe. I do believe that is based on this image here. Now, it's very, very interesting in the fact that the chalice here, the colour of the chalice has changed. Now, this is Circe. This is the, it's a pre-Raphaelite painting. Enthralling vision of Circe poisons the water in which Scylla bathes. The water is so lavish, one forgets the goddess is vindictively violating the clear blue bath. The menacing woodland behind hints at her devious bewitchery here. And indeed, we've got the same woodland in the back of this card as well. Now, if we take this chalice to be the Holy Grail, which is the sacred container from which all creations are born, so the fertile creative womb of the goddess or the feminine principle, and we have red here, then I presume that is menstruation, but I could be wrong. So what I'm going to do, I actually haven't done this, I'm going to have a look at the guidebook for this card, and it's 19, and it's interesting that it says Alchemist of Pain, because, you know, anybody who's had menstruation pain know how horrible that can be. Right, let's find it. Alchemist of Pain. And we've got a full colour image there of the card. It says, pain is a sacred ally. Suffering is a devourer of the psyche. We cannot control pain. It happens. But we do have some influence over how much we suffer. When we hold on to the injustice of pain, it can turn into suffering, and so it behooves us to release the pain through the healing power of our creativity. When we sing our sorrows, dance our turmoil, or otherwise alchemise our hurt into art, we offer the pain back to the earth while also blessing it with our offering of beauty. This is a sacred alchemy that comes only after grief. A witch, W.I.T.C.H, knows she must grieve first, giving her heart the space it needs to bleed, so that is blood. To bleed out all the messages that would diminish her. Ignore the voices that suggest you should be over it by now. Or tell your grief looks one way but not another. Or suggest that you somehow deserve this pain. How could you deserve pain? The medicine you need to heal is actually inside the wound, so let it bleed out. Empty the wound of pain and empty your heart of tears. Only when you are willing to sit with your agony and companion your sorrow will you sense the medicine rising. It may come slowly, but over time you will sense an ache to create something from this void. A witch rises when she answers the call to alchemise her pain into a creative offering. This is your time to grieve, witch, and heal. Know this, the rise will come. So it's a very empowering message for this card. And I quite like the way it's been reimagined, actually, from an act of violence here. To an act of healing. So that one struck me. What else? That reminded me. But I think that's an actual famous painting in itself, this one, and I'm not sure where it's from, but I'm sure I've seen that actually. And it's this sort of style, isn't it? This is Edward Robert Hughes' Midsummer Eve in 1908. In a fairy ring here. Gorgeous, gorgeous picture. If I'm actually getting it all on screen here. This is Letha. Beautiful. And then this one reminded me somewhat of this. So we have like the circular back of the throne here and the two stone statues. Yeah, we've got two stone statues on the edge of this throne here. It's similar, I mean obviously it's not the same. And this is Circe again, offering the cup, so Circe's been busy in this book. But yeah, so you can see where I'm sort of getting that idea from, that this is actually based on some classical art. The other thing that struck me as I did the walkthrough, let's put this to one side. Yeah, sort of these sort of classical type images. This one here, it really reminded me of another tarot deck by Alana Fairchild, the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. It really reminded me of that. In fact, let me just go and get the pocket version so I can show you what I'm referring to. So this is the deck, this is the pocket edition. I've got the larger edition as well, but I'll just show you this for ease. Which is what this card sort of reminded me of. Now, this is a lot brighter in tone. This is quite subdued in colour. And here's She of the Invisible Ally, and we've got like a spirit ally here. This is some sort of a whale. Whereas the Kuan Yin has the same sort of energy, I think. Although different, you know, different animals, and also in the sky. But yeah, I sort of, it reminded me of it a little bit. So yeah, so that's the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle by Alana Fairchild, the pocket version. So that's what that brought to mind. It's like, you know, when you first look at a card, you get an impression. And often for me, it's an impression of, it reminds me of other things. And I think that's the whole point really, isn't it? That we can actually take an image and imprint onto it ourselves from our own knowledge base, experience, that sort of thing. What else did I want to point out? Well, that I think looks to me like Medusa because of the snakes in the hair, the gargoyle. However, it's a devouring mother. Now, I'm not sure of Medusa's role as a mother. That sort of puzzled me, so I thought I'd have a little look at that one. Yeah, it does. It says, like Medusa, the devouring mother is the part of our psyche that can turn our enthusiasm and bravery to stone. I see where they've gone with that. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. She is the embodiment of not enoughness, the soul of lack, who says your gifts and talents will never be enough. Your ideas and plans are a waste of time and won't amount to anything like an intimidating parent or a disapproving school teacher. All she has to do is cast a glance at your creative spark with a disapproving stare and you shrink, convinced you'll never be enough. Oh, well, that's strong. Yeah, there's more to that. I don't want to spoil it too much for you. Yeah, that works. I like that. That's really cool. That's really good. Yeah. So it's using the archetype of Medusa in a slightly different way, but very effective. Okay, this one reminded me of one of Angi Sullins' other decks, the Wild Woman Rising, which is this deck here, and I have done a walkthrough of that. You can probably see why I'm getting the same sort of vibe there. There's a couple of other cards that are quite like it as well in the deck. So let me check out its bag actually. So yeah, that one. Embrace the interior winter. This is the Priestess of Original Innocence. We've got Restore Balance. That sort of reminded me as well. So yeah, that sort of vibe I was getting from that one. So I'm wondering, you see this looks like classical imagery as well, you know, classical art. So I'm wondering if that is Leda, you know, the myth with the swan. If you know ancient mythology, you'll know what I'm talking about there. So I'm not sure. Actually, let's have a little look. We might as well. This is 22. So interesting. This deck is like well thought through, I think. The Bard of Truth, so self-deprecation, deep modesty, self-doubt, the results of living in fear of judgment. No, it doesn't say. It doesn't say anything about Leda. The nice thing about the book is you get little images throughout that are from the cards, so that's a nice little touch throughout. I like that. It's a lovely guidebook. This one. If you've ever read The Phantom Wise, this card reminds me of that. It totally has that vibe for me, and I think it's, at the moment, on my first walkthrough, it looks like my favourite card. Although there are others vying for that place. This is... You already know the oracle is in you. The time might call for these cards, or tea leaves, or runes, but all of those are a means to an end, and the end is alive and well in you. Yeah, it's just about you being the all-knowing oracle of your own life. This also reminds me of classical art as well, and I'm sure I've seen this image somewhere else. So if you know where I'm confused, if you like, with some of these depictions, because I'm, you know, I definitely think they are taken in part from classical art. Definitely. I mean, that one, obviously. So that's my first impressions of the cards. Let's just have a quick look at the guidebook. We'll go through that. So the art is by Angi Sullins' partner, Silas Tobel. Also did the same for the Wild Woman Rising deck. These here, where they've got a different font colour, are the poems that are included in the book. So we've got all the cards, and then interspersed with these poems. There we go. Interspersed with these poems that are in a different font colour. Yeah, some introductory material about how we've been wronged and how we can stand up for ourselves, become the person we were actually meant to be. And that really comes across, actually. I think it's a very empowering deck with very empowering messages. So then we've got all of the, like I say, all of the cards with little images from the cards interspersed. As you can see, Thief of Peace. So yeah, full colour image of the card on the opposite page, and then some information at the back about the author, the artist, some pictures, and then about their academy, which you can find online. So yeah, all in all, I think it's a very empowering deck. If you're looking for something like that, you know, self-empowerment. I do like the fact that we've got different ages as well. That's always welcome. The wise person, the harpy, the red tent. Well, that's menstruation again, isn't it? Definitely. The red tent stories. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of depth to this, although there doesn't seem to be loads of text, but I think there's enough, and I reckon it'll be really good as a journaling deck. So yeah, that's my thoughts on W.I.T.C.H, Woman in Total Control of Herself. Okay. Oracle by Angi Sullins and art by Silas Bell. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, bye friends, bye.